Hello and welcome. Hello, and welcome. We are joining on a couple different platforms right now. I love to be efficient. I don't know about you, but when I can find ways to be more efficient in life, I gain back time. And if you are following me for the first time, I'm all about return on intention, ROI. And yes, it's also a return on investment of your intention and your attention, right? And so I am live here, I believe, in Instagram and YouTube, trying to figure out, I guess Instagram's here, LinkedIn and YouTube is over here, and Zoom is in the background because this is a podcast. I have a podcast called Courageous and Free with 𝙃𝙊𝙘𝙃𝙊𝙘𝙀, over 70 plus episodes that will help activate, give you integration tools to radically shift and break through old patterns, old habits, behaviors when you're desiring more love, more connection, more money, more time freedom, more adventure, whatever the more is in your life that you desire, not just want, but truly desire. And you might have a little bit of fear because it's radically different than what life is now. This is for you. So today we're talking about overthinking. Overthinking. How many of you have allowed overthinking to delay, pause, or stall your life, your success, your connection, your opportunity to experience and expand and grow in any area of your life? How many of you? If you are a recovering perfectionist, if you are a person who likes to be super prepared, I guarantee overthinking has stalled or delayed your next level success, has contributed to you settling for a good life, which is not this is not a bad right or wrong conversation today. This is, if you want to expand and grow past this, if you want to mitigate the time that overthinking stalls and delays your next level success in any area of life, then this is an episode for you. I must start this though with the fact that I almost allowed overthinking to creep into my preparation of what I wanted to cover in this talk today. Because as you know, I'm trying to do my best and to keep these around 20 minutes. So it's enough information to activate something within you to take action and give you some actionable tools to use. So yes, I showed up and I continue to show up. And so does overthinking, but it does not stop or delay me any more than a few seconds because I'm uber aware of my overthinking patterns and how it shows up. And it usually shows up, who can agree to this, in the most important times of our life. Do I invest in a coach? Do I buy that next home? Do I sell this home? Do I walk up and talk to that person? Do I reach out and call the next client? Overthinking. It's the biggest dream killer of all dream killers because it leads to delay, right? And it also bites in its friend dissuasion, right? All those voices in your head that say, you're not ready, you're not good enough, you haven't read enough, you didn't get enough certifications. Who are you to become a parent? Who are you to get married? Who are you to travel the world? Who are you to take that promotion? Who are you to give yourself a promotion? That feeds into overthinking too. So what are we going to do today? We're going to dive into how we can learn how to ditch regret, master decision-making, because you deserve it. And it's worth it. The work is worth it. I promise you. I have been in some sort of sales, whether selling for somebody else in the corporate world and the online space and for my own business, high ticket, before high ticket was called high ticket. And I can tell you, I've seen how many places people give their power away to money, people, circumstances, situations, and overthinking is a big piece of this. So you're welcome. Welcome to today's episode, and you're probably your biggest breakthrough that maybe you've been aware of or haven't been aware of, but thank goodness you're on this today. It's the one thing to desire massive success or simply next level success in business and in your personal life. This is what I do in my Rise Up program, which is radical intentional self-expansion to unleash your unlimited potential. It's the yes and life by design, no longer settling for circumstances or situations to say, I have to do this and I can't do that. Or if I do that, then I can't do this. I say there's always a way. There is always a way. If you believe that, right? If you believe that there isn't, then you're right. So do you want to be right? Or do you want to figure out the way? Because you're either going to settle for the excuse or settle for the solution. I'm all about the solution. I love getting creative and thinking outside the box with my clients on creating those solutions, creating the opportunities. So when I say know in your heart space, not just your logical mind, that what you're going after is just another piece of success, another experience you desire. First, we have to get clear on, what does success mean to me in my relationships? What does success mean to me when I say relationships, I mean with your clients, I mean with your spouse, I mean with your children, I mean with your neighbors, I mean with your community, because it all matters. How we do anything is how we do everything. This is why I'm listening for the third time, The Conscious Parent. This book is amazing. I've 3 times and I still am learning new stuff of it because I'm still rewiring and breaking down old patterns and behaviors. So you also have to realize that how we do anything, how we do everything is decision mastery, self-mastery. Those become patterns and habits and behaviors. So how and when do you want to shift those? When is it appropriate to shift them? Well, hello, when life isn't working out the way that you're desiring it, pivot and shift. And it doesn't have to be a radical shift. It can be the slightest shift. And what I love about that is, think of the analogy, little hinges swing big doors. Little hinges swing massive doors. It doesn't matter if it's in your home or on a castle. It's the same modality. And if you don't master your decision making, what's going to happen is overthinking will win every time. Because if you are like me, overthinking became a pattern and a habit. I'm very spontaneous and adventurous. It's my personality. But I also like to plan and prepare. It's really hard for people to surprise me. And yet I love to be surprised, right? So welcome to my world. Welcome to my world. If you can relate, give me a thumbs up. Now, when we talk about how this all works, we have to remember this is an act of self-love. An act of self-love to know what to say yes to without hesitation, even a little bit of hesitation, without it, or recognize it and don't allow it. And what also to say no to. This is the hard part for me still today because I'm a recovering people pleaser. When I get to say no to things, it's creating space for more of what I really desire and not just want today, because it's a temporary want. It's not feeding or fueling into my biggest desire. This is how I teach people how to live from their vision, make decisions from their vision. If it's not fueling or feeding the vision, it's a no. If it's fueling and feeding that vision to come to life, and it's that one step or that one decision or that yes, even though you're scared and shaking in your boots, it's still a yes. This is how I help people have radical breakthroughs. Radical breakthroughs is beyond what we thought was possible at the time, because we know everything's possible and we have unlimited potential. So are you caught in the cycle of overthinking, constantly ruminating on the past, right? Feeling that anxiety, that anxious butterfly feeling that doesn't typically feel good, or this feeling of stuckness that isn't really real, that stuckness of indecision. Because when someone says, I don't know, I can't decide right now, they just did. They said no. So again, giving permission for people to say no and help them see that, like, because you're not saying yes, you're saying no. Well, I'm not saying no. And then they justify and explain and justify and explain and delay. It's just a no. Be okay with that. If you're not okay with the no, then I'm here to help you say yes without regretting it. Just like I'm here to help you say no without regretting it. This is solution soulful-based sales tactics, by the way, which I also help my clients with, right? Because they're business owners. And if you aren't selling, you don't have a business. So when you are aware of this, you can do better. Doesn't mean that we're always going to do better. because there's no such thing as perfect. It's progress over perfection. But when we begin to do better, it becomes a new habit, a new pattern, a new behavior. Then the old falls away, and it's really simple and at times very easy if we allow it to be. But we have to start with the mastering of the decision making even more. Living intentionally from your vision, making decisions aligned with it without overthinking, without hesitation, without delay. Now, these patterns, this is the crazy part. The patterns of overthinking would be what if. So this is where you pull out your pen and paper or pull over or listen to this again later. What if? These are my two favorite word prompts for my clients. My clients listen to this, they know. They're probably smiling like, yep, I use this every day all the time, and it works like magic. Because how we use it in the way I teach it is different how overthinkers use it. Overthinkers say, what if? And think of all the scenarios that are anchored in doubt, lack, disaster, DEFCON. And instead, we flip the script to what is possible. What if I desired more? What if it was better than I could ever imagine? What if this happened just like this with all the juicy details you desired? That is the key. What would that look like and feel like? How good could we make this picture feel and look with all the juicy details? And the key is the juicy details, and the key is feeling it. If it doesn't evoke a feeling in you, you A, weren't juicy enough, or you really don't want it. And that's okay. Like, it's better to figure that out first before you invest time and money and resources into the thing. Would you agree? So this flip the script of what if is the best, quickest tool I can give to you today to break free from overthinking. What if you just did the thing and it was better than ever? What if it was better than you expected? Right? Try that on. Let me know how it works for you. Because if you don't and you go down the opposite, what you're going to evoke is more anxiety. What you're going to evoke is more negativity. And this is a part of overthinking. And then we have to go grab our other tools, breath work, grounding, right? Which is okay too. That's why they're there. If you have tools in your toolbox and you're not using them, why? With social media and the internet and the interwebs, there's so many resources out there, and it's easy to find the right stuff and the good stuff grounded in science. So again, use the flip the script for breaking free from this. Now, let's explore the top personalities, well, I guess I should say personality traits of overthinkers. And can you relate to one or a few of these? This is what I see every single day when I think of and work with people who are overthinkers. The first one is they're comparing themselves to others. And this also goes hand in hand with imposter syndrome. So if you need some help with imposter syndrome, I have a free resource. Message me imposter. It's also on my link on my website, over on Instagram, over on LinkedIn, over on YouTube, and grab it. It's free. It gives you the 5 quick tips to overcome it literally like that. Now, does it mean you do it once and it's done? No. And if anybody tells you that, they're lying to you. So I'm not here to lie. I'm here to give you the truth, even if it's hard to hear. This is work that we continue to change in our life and how we be and how we do and show up. So comparing yourself to others. If you're stressed out a lot because you're putting a lot on your plate, you're like an overcommitter, a people pleaser is what I like to call it, because you don't know how to say no. Let's practice saying no more. Let's create those boundaries. It's one of my superpowers that I help my clients with. You need to perform well. Started out in the high performance world in the corporate space, got burnt out twice, and now went completely opposite and to human potential instead of human performance. And I have some cool stories I'll share for another time around that. But if you need to perform well, overthinking will be activated by that. Caring about the situation, even when there are so many things out of your control, and not recognizing that, you can tend to overthink or invite overthinking into that. Paralyzing perfectionist, hello. Overthinking will be invited and activated. Here's the catch of all of this. Every single one of these traits usually is also anchored into a very highly intelligent person. So, how many of those can you relate to? Awareness is always the first step toward any transformation or up-leveling. This is not just of your mind. but this is also with the patterns and the behaviors that serve you and your vision, your dreams, and your desires. And your goals are in there. Your goals are the little milestones that we're setting that are feeding and fueling the vision, that are feeding and fueling the dreams and desires. And the only way they can be actualized or experienced is through intention and real commitment to taking action. So if you're unable to manage this overthinking train, I like to call it, or runaway train, when it pulls up to that train station and those thought patterns go crazy, and then it turns into anxiety, one good pattern to utilize is the what if, flip the script. The second one I'm giving to you today as well is the power of the reset journal prompts. You can use these every day, which I don't recommend because there's a lot of integration there. I mean, in 20 minutes a day you could, but do you really want to overanalyze, which will also feed into overthinking every single day that happens when you can just take, oh, this went well, this didn't. Oh, this went well, this didn't. Oh, pivot, pivot, pivot. Little pivots that take literally minutes, less than 5 minutes to look at. But the purpose and intention of the Power of the Reset journal prompts is to be utilized monthly, really to get clear on what worked and what didn't, and where do we need to set some boundaries, hire in some people, delegate, take something off our plate, radically change a goal or the direction that we're going. And it's great to have this piece in play on a monthly basis versus waiting until January when everybody does New Year's resolutions, or waiting till July when the year's halfway over and we throw in the towel when we still have 6 months to create, to experience, to evolve and expand. So those are a tool that I've been using for myself and my clients for over, 15 years now. And they work like clockwork every single time. I like to also just remind you that last week's episode was about SMART goals and going beyond SMART goals, because SMART goals are good. They'll get you a good life. But if you're looking for a great life, you're looking for that quantum leap, if you're looking for a radical breakthrough, then you want to go back and listen to that episode, because we're going beyond the SMART goals. And I give you every tip and trick in there to do just that. So don't miss the next opportunity to gain even more clarity, more confidence, and control over what? The things we can control, our thoughts and how we respond to the world. That is it. If you think you have control over more than just those two things, check yourself and take your freedom back. Take the pressure off yourself. If you think you have control over more than those two things, you're putting a lot of extra pressure on yourself, and you're probably activating and inviting in overthinking. I'll send you off with so much love, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Until next time, bye for now.